Hello there, YouTube. I have a fun little project to share with you. Some of you might find it interesting, some of you may not. In a nutshell, I received a John Lundemo Gununting or Bolo style blade some time ago and didn't really know what to do with it. I found it on Facebook of all places and did some horse trading and whatnot. Ended up with a blade that, if my video editing is working, looks thusly. In a nutshell, it has a kind of an odd shape. It doesn't lean forward as much as you might expect in a Gununting or some of the other Filipino-style bolos. I study FMA, or used to study more actively FMA, and did Eskrima for a time. And I was always, well, not overly thrilled with the pieces that I got from Chris Cutlery or Traditional Filipino Weapons. And not to discredit either one of those companies, because they make good, durable products. But at the same time, I know they always felt a bit hefty, and so I wanted something kind of a little lighter and fun, but in defense, it also kind of mass production pieces. And I was kind of looking for something made by a custom smith, but you don't see many pieces come along in the Filipino realm of things, or at least I don't in the circles I travel in, so to speak. So when this one came up on Facebook as an American smith with a pretty good reputation behind his name, and it being in a general shape of a Filipino blade, I was like, okay, I'm on that like stank on shit, right? And the end result is this thing. Now, the handle is not Filipino. As a student of FMA, this is intentionally kind of geared toward being my backyard fun practice piece, and I was not intent on going with something traditional, so don't hate on me too much. I sent it to the same person that does most of my Japanese sword mounting, so it might share a vein with some Japanese themes, like this pin here that can be taken out so that the blade can be removed and cleaned or whatever. That was more or less intentional in case I wanted to change anything in the future, but there's a guard here, not a traditional, there's no D guard. It's more or less something to keep my hands from walking up in case I want to do any stabbing. The puño is not a big club, so the movements, but I'm not going to be using this basically I'm not going to be doing any puño strikes with the blade. It's just going to be a fun chopper, and I wanted something that fits. And if you look, you can see that the profile here, the guard all matches around. It kind of flares out a little bit around the pin for some extra meat. It also gives you something good to grip on, but then it tapers off, meets the grip. There's no big gaps or anything like that around the blade. There's a little seam there, nothing major. And the blade itself has some less than amazing polish work on it. I asked John on Facebook if this was his blade just to check it out, and he said it was, and that it just kind of sat in the corner for a while because he wasn't really thrilled with how the shape came out. It's not signed. It was admittedly not something that he was overly fond of, but I think it feels just fucking great in the hand. This is a fun, whippy little blade. It's still really rigid. It doesn't have a lot of flex or give to it. It's pretty sturdy, but man, it is just a fun moving sword, and the grip is made out of the same wood. It's an orange something, and it's made out of the same type of thing that you might make a bowkin for, so it's pretty tough wood. It'll age well over time, and just kind of the general profile and shape is extremely comfortable. I like, if you look at how it lines up with the profile of the blade itself. There's a little brass spacer in there. Again, there's a very, very simple handle that was attached to it. I got the blade as just a bare blade, but the profile of it, how it kind of lines up, some of the details that were kind of added in to make it flow a little bit better are appreciated. A lot of times when I use kind of more antique Filipino blades, I find them round and edge alignment a little harder to attain, or rather keep. Not to say that they're all round, maybe it's just the examples that I've had. I have a couple antique Compilon, I've had some antique Bolo, some antique Barong, and a few other blades from random manufacturers of reproduction type stuff, and a few other random antique type blades as well. And a lot of times I find the edge alignment a little harder. This is very elliptical and very easy to have edge alignment on. And the pin, believe it or not, it's wood and it's rounded, but it sticks out just a little bit and kind of gives a little bit of bite into your hand. That makes it a little more secure even. The tang goes down pretty deep, kind of right before I actually had the a good portion or the entire threaded section removed, because why have it on there? In a nutshell, all it was going to do was press the handle up, and based on how the handle's made, it could result in cracking or something like that. This is going to be mostly a chopping weapon for me. Might do a little bit of thrusting, but I'm gonna work some of my old fun time FMA stuff and try to work on my scream a little bit, and this will be my fun blade for it. So I'm really happy with how it turned out. I hope you enjoy some of the photos. Cheers, and thanks for watching.